We just got this box, and in this box is the Pgytech OneMo Lite. Let's unbox it. This feels a bit like an Apple unboxing experience. Life is what you carry. Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be reviewing Pgytech OneMo Lite, which is probably the best photography backpack out there in the market. Now, what we mean by the best is that this backpack seems to perfectly straddle the trinity of price, quality, and features that it offers in its fairly sizable yet compact body. So we're gonna go through everything that you need to know before you buy this backpack. What does it look like? What are the features? And ultimately, how did it actually stand up to a real-life test of our trip to Wales a few weeks ago, where we experienced all sorts of terrain? Was it worth it? Was it comfortable? And most importantly, did it protect our gear adequately? This backpack is on the market for £160. We were lucky enough to actually get it on discount on Amazon. It was around 125, I think, which was a great deal for something so robust and so feature heavy that I think we're happy with the deal that we got. But speaking of features, why don't we have a look at them right now? Okay, so this is the backpack. As you can see, it has a fairly minimalist but distinctive, I would say, design. Quite a boxy shape and lots of visible but also kind of hidden little features, and what makes it really exciting. It is a 22-liter bag, even though it does look bigger than a 22-liter bag, I would say. So the material it's made of, according to the website, is poly plus PU, so I don't know, I think that's just another word for polyurethane, which is, I guess, a type of plastic. And that explains why it is water resistant or waterproof. Literally, you will see that water particles just rest on top of this backpack rather than going anywhere in any little holes. Speaking of holes, you might also notice that there is a tiny little hole just on the bottom right here. And it is to serve this pocket if you put in anything during rain, or it just like you put something that unfortunately spills out. It has drainage here for it to just completely not bother you and not become all gross. But anyway, just looking at the features of the backpack, you'll notice that at the very top it has these loops over here that extend like that. I think you could probably use these loops together with these straps to secure anything that you want to put on top, kind of like crisscross like this. You could also use these same straps with these loops on the very bottom. You will see that they are right here. They look like little ears. That is definitely for a tripod, and that's actually very convenient. In the front here, we also have a front access pocket. Here's the zipper. And this is what it looks like. You can completely like kind of open it out like this, and it can just fit like smaller items, like we have sunglasses and a book here. The only organization it really has is just this mesh compartment with a zip, so it's fairly simple, yeah, fairly uncomplicated. I think you could do well with storing clothing here because it does sort of protrude out like that, so storing anything that is fairly soft would do well here. On the very bottom, you'll see the texture is a little bit different. It is more rough, and in fact, I think it might have been beneficial if the entire backpack was made out of this material, because I think it would be a little bit more scratch resistant than the rest of it. So then on the sides here, we have this side access pocket. Each zipper has a zipper pull, and this is just for you to have side access and grab your camera on the go. We'll review this separate pocket over here a little bit later. So that's one thing. You'll also see that across the entire backpack, all of the zippers are AquaGuard, meaning that no water will seep through them because they have this coating over here. Then Andrew's favorite pocket is actually this one because it's just so convenient. It's very easily accessible, and you can store things like this little Allen key over here. We also put other keys, our room key, our car key, everything. So it's very convenient, and the best part is that nothing will ever fall out of it because it has a zipper, so it's fully protected. Then on this side, we obviously have this pocket over here, which is meant to house your water bottle, or in our case, it had our tripod. It has this elasticized kind of fastening here, so definitely will expand well. And then in addition to this, you have this strap here as well to help you secure anything like a tripod. On this side, there is a handle so that you can carry your backpack kind of horizontally like this, and you'll see another zipper that leads us to the main body of the bag. So flipping it over, this is the back of the backpack, and you can see there's actually quite a lot going on here as well. So the back of the backpack is obviously well padded. All of these cushion pads are quite thick and quite firm as well, so they're definitely made for ventilation. This middle one is a little bit more recessed, while the top and bottom ones are protruding a little bit more. Obviously there is a luggage pass-through here as well. And then let's get on to the straps. The straps are quite well padded. They aren't as thick as you might expect from a backpack of this size and from a backpack of this weight, I would say as well. Made of the same material as the rest of the body, and the padding is made of this material. Looks very, very similar, identical really. And then you have these loops over here for, I'm not sure what actually, I don't know what you would put here. On the back you'll see here that there is a sternum strap that goes across like that, can be fastened and can be attached to different points in the back because there are different stitches around. On the right side strap you'll also see some space here to secure something like a capture clip. And Pgytech really just remind me of like a Chinese version of Peak Design, because I think we can say we're inspired by many of the elements of Peak Design's design. Even look at this P over here. It's very inspired, I would say, and they have their own capture clip as well that is much cheaper. But yeah, this is the Peak Design capture clip that Andrew's been using, so it is quite good. It just, you have space for it over here, and it's very convenient that way. These loops over here are made for a belt. Okay, so let's have a look at the main compartment. And by the way, it hasn't yet been unpacked from the trip, so you will see exactly what it was like during the trip itself. Okay, ta-da! Right, so it has this very convenient clamshell opening. And before we go into this main compartment, let's just have a look at the back. The back has, there's a bit of a dent here. The back has this separate laptop pocket that is secured by this elastic strap and a little plastic thingy, I don't know what to call it. And you can put your, obviously, laptop in here, cables, anything that you want, just being protected. And it's padded from both from behind and from the top here as well. With the main body of the bag, there is a lot going on. Currently, it is a little bit unorganized. It is a fairly roomy backpack, like this entire space is free for you to use. So it comes with these native dividers. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then I borrowed from Andrew as well 6, 7, 8. 8 native dividers that are actually amazing. Let's have a look at them. This is a large one, you know, that is secured over here. And my favorite part about these dividers is that they, first of all, they're like, you can clearly tell that they put a lot of thought into creating this design, because they're both very light, sturdy, but also flexible due to all of the ridges over here. Then the Velcroing on these dividers is also very strong, so you will definitely struggle to just like tear it off. Like, it takes considerable force for me to pull it away, even though I only just put it down, as you can see. Then the smaller ones, they look like this. And in addition to this, they also provide this strap that is elasticized, that I think if you were worried about anything spilling out, let's say there were lenses that didn't fit snugly enough in this space, that you could use that to secure them like this, for example, or really whichever way you want. So with so many different pieces, of course you have to spend a little bit of time trying to figure out how all of this is going to fit together and how you're going to organize your gear. You'll also see that there is a pocket right here that is on a zip. So the entire section itself is a zip pocket. As you can see, it opens up so that you can access your camera over here. But then it also has a zip on the inside, and it is a very, very useful little pocket to store things like filters. There's a cleaning cloth, any batteries as well, because it has these sort of gimmicky looking flips where you can indicate whether your battery is charged or dead, so that you don't, mix them up. And any memory cards as well would be a really decent place to store this. And it's very soft, and definitely not going to scratch any of your precious gear. So now that we've seen what this backpack has to offer, why don't we talk about how it actually performed during our trip to Wales. So our trip to Wales was about a week long and was really intended for us to experience the great outdoors and to take as many great landscape photography pics as we could possibly do. So I think those circumstances actually really put our gear to the test, because the first couple of days were really stormy and rainy, and then the next few days were blissful, sunny, and quite warm actually. So Andrew was not at all precious with his backpack. He put it down multiple times to swap a lens. He obviously didn't take it off or try to do anything about it when it started raining, and it was of immense comfort to him that this backpack was completely waterproof and all of the zippers were AquaGuard, because it meant that all of the expensive gear that he had inside, plus any clothes, were completely safe. So on that front, I think this backpack gets a 10 out of 10. It's gonna protect your gear very well. All right, so let's talk about another important point, which is how comfortable this backpack was. So Andrew gave it a 7.5 out of 10, and he took down a few points for a couple of reasons. So first of all, he mentioned that he would have probably liked straps that were a little bit more padded, because his experience so far has been using air backpacks, which have considerably more padded straps. So I think he's just used to that, and as a result, maybe these didn't, he didn't say that they outright were uncomfortable, but he would have preferred more padding. Another thing was this sternum strap caused quite a lot of annoyance, just because the closure on it is so weird and just not very convenient, because sometimes he mentioned when he was he clipped it on and tried to tighten it, it would actually pull off because of the mechanism that is on this closing little thing. And then lastly, it had to do with the back here. So first of all, that it wasn't the most comfortable because it is quite rigid here, solely because obviously this is sort of is a lid for the backpack to protect your gear, and it is quite rigid, like it's quite tough. You can hear that, right? But at the same time, he appreciated the amount of padding that there was on this backpack, because actually created a lot of good airflow, and he was sweating way less than he normally would while hiking and wearing a backpack. So I guess it is sort of a double-edged sword, because I don't think that it would have been possible to create such airflow without having this stuff of a shell on the back. But he didn't find that it was uncomfortable, it's just that he's worn more comfortable backpacks than this. But other than that, he's never complained about the weight or comfort of this backpack during the trip. And the sternum strap was helpful with redistributing sometimes heavy weight of when this backpack was fully loaded. So the next point was about the convenience of this backpack. Ultimately, this is the reason it was even purchased, because obviously we could have used any old backpack, but the features and the organizational moments was the reason we went for a photography backpack. So he did find that overall it was quite convenient and really easily accessible. His favorite part was actually just here on the side. Just these pockets, I think, were his favorite. This pocket, for instance, was particularly beloved by both of us because that's where, you know, we stored our important things like keys, for example, and cards, and it's completely secure, very easy to access. And then obviously this side access was enormously helpful and convenient as well. And overall, he liked the internal organization of the bag and how he was able to organize his gear. He said that he wished he had more of these dividers so that he could organize it a little bit more efficiently. But that's partly on me because I took 2 or 3 away from him because my backpack wasn't sufficient. In addition, he also found this strap to be quite useful because at times he would carry the backpack like this. Most importantly, I think, because he used quite a lot, this specific sleeve for a capture clip. Because you could either put it on top here, it has like 2 openings on top or on the bottom. The things that he found could be improved were this front section over here. There isn't a ton that you can do with this pocket. It is just one compartment with an additional mesh pocket over here, and he just wished that maybe there were a few more pockets here or straps that he could organize things more effectively. And then lastly, he found this strap for the tripod a little bit annoying, and actually I did too, because for you to be able to get it out, you have to pull it out like that and then pull it kind of like back in. So when you do it, you know, at home, it's not difficult at all and it works fine. But when you're doing it on the go, when you're just trying to get things out, it gets a little bit in the way. So it would be great if they just change this mechanism a little bit. This is what it looks like currently. It's just like a hook. So maybe just a regular clasp would be perfect and would be really easy. I'm not sure why they went with this design. Then let's talk about reliability and durability. So this is what the backpack looks like after a week-long all-terrain, all-weather trip. I mean, it is basically like new. The only comment that he made was that he wished that the material was a little bit more scratch resistant because of how smooth it is. It can easily show scratches. There are a few here on the side, and maybe that more of the backpack was covered by this bottom material over here because it is more scratch resistant, more textured. But otherwise, I think it looks great and honestly isn't showing many, if any, signs of wear. He's also mentioned that this backpack is of great build quality because nothing fell apart, nothing ripped at all. So honestly, I think for the quality of build, you are paying a very reasonable price here. He really liked this backpack aesthetically. We actually considered another Manfrotto backpack that was fairly similar to this and in a similar price range. But he really disliked that design, so I think this design really delivered. The only, I think, comment that he made that he couldn't have anticipated before our trip was actually during the sunny days, the surface of this backpack got pretty hot and it made him worried about how hot his gear might have gotten inside. But actually, as soon as he opened the backpack, he noticed that there is a noticeable temperature difference. So I think this material heats up quickly, and obviously it being a black backpack attracts a lot of heat as well. Maybe it's just not the best at sort of dissipating it or reflecting it at all, but it doesn't affect the temperature inside of the bag, and all the gear was completely safe at all times. So ultimately, what's the verdict? Would we recommend this backpack? Is it worth the money? I think for us, it is a resounding yes. It was less than 150 pounds. Hopefully you can get it on discount as well, just like us. And it had all the features and functionality that made sure that our gear was safe at all times, but also that the backpack delivered on durability, aesthetics, and comfort overall. Actually, I was so impressed by the performance of this backpack and the features that it offers in a fairly compact body that I considered getting my own, and I'm still thinking about it because I am not so sure that I will be continuing with my choice, which was Brevity the jumper. Yeah, so there's a lot to think about there because backpacks are not cheap, so I definitely need to weigh my decision. But if you are contemplating buying a backpack for similar reasons that we did, so for short trips, for maybe longer trips where you do daily hikes and want to carry more than just your sling, that isn't an all-round solution for a travel backpack, because this definitely wouldn't fit a lot of clothes. It's definitely only geared to be used for 1 or maybe 2 days independently, meaning you don't need to carry any sort of suitcase with you for extra clothes. Yes, we would definitely recommend it. It is a great choice. It has so many features. Actually, I think that this backpack is fairly underrated because it's not a brand that you hear about a whole ton, but actually a brand that delivers a lot for the price tag, and definitely something that you should consider before you buy. So we hope that you found this review helpful. If there's anything that we didn't mention, please let us know in the comments. And if you're considering buying this backpack, let us know if watching this review has been helpful in making that choice. All right, thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!